Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the BAW Show Finals Edition. We haven't done one of these before.
We have not.
Finals Edition. I'm joined again by Amanda. Hello, Amanda. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Shan?
Recovering from food poisoning again.
Unfortunate.
I feel like I've had food poisoning like 3 times this year, and it's just I'm slowly getting better. It's taken a little bit longer this time, but my little parting gift from my previous role. So I didn't actually get there on Saturday night because I was stuck in bed sick, but I did watch it. I did have the opportunity to watch it. And what a game.
It was an
What a
amazing
game.
game. You were lucky to be indoors, if I'm honest.
It
Very
didn't look
rainy,
pleasant.
very
It didn't
cold.
look pleasant. You were just telling me off air that it's hard to describe how cold it was.
It really was. And even though we discussed this last week, we knew it was
Yeah.
going to rain, but you can sit under cover. People had to keep moving back rows further and further under cover because that rain was coming in sideways.
Oh, it looked pretty cold because like they panned to the girls on the bench and they were all wearing like giant towels to try and keep themselves warm. I wonder if they had hot hands on the bench to keep their hands
They
warm.
would have needed it. Basically, everybody was undercover, but there were a few real keen beans standing out in the open with their umbrellas.
That's smart. See, at least at Icon you can have an umbrella because at the
Yeah.
MCG you cannot. And from the coverage, a few people were messaging me. Their cheer squad was like a few bays from where ours was because usually we're down near get the entrance to gate 6, but the decision was made to move into the legend stand. Very smart one. Because nobody likes the smell of the wet floggers. Just put it out there. But yeah, no, some people were telling me that their cheer squad was right next to ours, and you could hear through the mics the two cheer squads. It was actually quite interesting how close they were in proximity and just how loud both of them were collectively.
It looked like there might have been only a bay or two between them. I was sitting at a few bays down. They
Oh
were
dear.
very, very close to each other.
Oh dear. Well, lucky wet toast don't have much of a cheer squad in Melbourne. But anyway,
There weren't very many of them, no.
no. But final scores 9-6-60 defeated West Coast 2-7-19 in front of 3,420 people, which I think is pretty impressive considering the weather. And in commentary, they said that it's if it had been nicer conditions, you probably would have had double that.
I think you would have, because I thought it felt like a fairly decent crowd, very loud crowd,
It was very
especially
loud.
like you say, considering the weather. The rain was relentless. It didn't stop the whole game, and at some points was just they were basically having to play soccer.
Yeah, yeah. Our 6 goals in the third term, which we'll touch on, were pretty much soccer goals from the middle,
Yeah,
pushing the ball forward, which we'll touch on. How did you see the first half kind of play out? It was pretty tight considering
very tight.
the conditions, which again we expected this because this is very similar to how last week started.
Yep.
And I think both sides across the board are very well evenly matched. And once again, that proved to be true in that first half.
Yeah, we discussed this with Bucky last week, talking about the fitness of the girls, and that was on show again, that they really put a lot of effort into their fitness. And so even though we knew that West Coast would come out really firing, because that's exactly what they did last week, we're just able to outlast them. But that first half, very similarly to last week, very evenly matched, I think. And I think that they really got the better of us in that second quarter.
Absolutely. I think for all the territory we had, to only kick 1 point, to their 1-2 in that second
Yeah.
quarter, really highlights that for me. But I once again, I wish somebody was on Ella Roberts.
Yeah,
And I messaged you at the time going, any
yes.
danger of picking up Ella Roberts? That
She's
girl
really a star.
is an absolute star. If she's not named captain of the 22 under 22, I don't know who will really. 30 disposals, 20 of those contested. This girl is 12 tackles. She is like the complete package, and I wouldn't
She
hate it
really
if
is.
she decided to one day come over to Carlton. Like, have her in a heartbeat. But no, I thought even though the conditions were pretty wet, some of our marking was really good as well. Like Jess Good took a couple of really good marks in that third term.
Might have been one
I
of
know
her best ones she's played.
absolutely. 12 disposals from her, 19 hitouts. I know in the past we've kind of said that she needs to get better at her marking game, and it was on full display in the absolute wet.
Yeah,
So she's gone away and gone to work on her game, and I think between her and Bree, just the ability to rotate between the two of them in the ruck, I thought was pretty good considering everything really. But the damage, thankfully, was done in that third quarter. We just came out with a renewed energy, just push the ball forward at all costs, and we kicked 6 goals too, like in
yeah.
the wet.
That was as good, I think, a quarter as I've seen, and in those conditions was so impressive.
Yeah, I'm I'm very I yeah, look, wow. You very rarely see a team kick 6 goals in a quarter in the dry conditions.
Yeah,
For us to be able to do that in the wet up against an opponent that, um, like the caliber of West Coast this year under Daisy Pearce, is pretty impressive. Um, I was very, very impressed with, yeah, all of our goal kickers. McKay kicking 2, Finn kicking 2, Ronnie kicking 2, Bohanna kicking her one a game. Mia Austin, her beautiful tribute to
yeah,
her late cousin Ben, and Poppy's goal from downtown was pretty good too.
they were spectacular goals.
Yeah, a lot
That
of them were soccer ones.
yeah, I think you called out Dana and Ronnie, and maybe their conditions more that they are used to. They seemed like they were having a better time of things, especially with the handling of the ball, than some others around them, to be honest.
Yeah, and I think Ronnie's skill and ability to pick up that ball in the wet, the way that she did, not just this week, but every week,
Yeah,
is unbelievably impressive. Like, you don't see some of the men's players able to pick the ball up with such finesse and just continue on, like, don't break stride.
yeah,
I was talking to, I think it was Chris Beach, and we were mentioning, I think he mentioned something to me around the Gaelic game and how it's pretty standard in the Gaelic game for them to be able to bend over like that and pick the ball up and just not break stride.
yeah,
So for Ronnie to be able to pick up the ball like that and just burst out of the pack, just you see it with the majority of the Irish girls. I think there's another one, O'Shea from North Melbourne, does the same thing. Very similar player. Um, and I noticed it when we played North, just her ability to pick up the ball and just burst out of the pack.
um,
It must
it
be an
was
Irish trait.
it, and Ronnie's speed was on show again, where she'd be in a foot race and it would look like another player had the
Oh,
better of her, and then she would just go past, kick the ball, and then keep on going.
came from about 5 deep,
Fuel in
that
the
one.
tank.
She came from 5 deep to kick that goal off the ground, and I think we pretty much put the game to bed at that point by the end of the third quarter, and it was just, player management for the rest of the game. I think we kicked 1 goal each in that last quarter, and I think that last 5 minutes, I think I saw Abby, Harriet, and a few other of the senior players kinda just chilling out on the bench in that last 5 minutes, so I think especially with Abby having her niggles this year, putting her
Yeah.
on ice earlier, once, the game's put to bed is a smart move. Um, and we came out of that game unscathed, which
I was
is
just about to ask,
amazing.
but yeah, no injury report today.
No injury report today. No news is good news, I wanna say.
Yep,
And I checked our injury report last week and it had nobody on it.
yep,
So, um Mills looked like she wasn't, hampered by her hamstring at all,
mhm,
which was fantastic to see. Her coming back into the side, that dynamic is just formidable, that back defense. And yeah, having her back in the side, um, with her experience, I think is just a little bit better than O'Connell at the moment, but that's because O'Connell came to Melbourne in June, has barely picked up a
that's right.
football. So, um, this week against Hawthorn is going to be interesting to see, if we go in unchanged. It'll obviously depend on if we do have any niggles that we're not aware of yet, because at time of filming, we don't know.
We don't know.
um, but being a Saturday game, teams will be released Thursday.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, no, haven't seen an injury report, so pretty confident that we might go in unchanged. Um, and I'm actually really excited, for this week.
I am too, but before we move on to it, who
Mhm.
was your favorite player from the game?
Sophie,
Yeah.
it'd be remiss of us to not talk about her goal celebration.
I did see that her dad apparently was not very happy with the one where she,
Looked like she
intimated
pulled
she
a
maybe
hammy.
pulled a hammy.
I didn't even know she grabbed her hammy. I just saw her do the leg thing, and I'm like,
Yeah,
never seen an AFLW player do a celebration like that. And then I saw the interview with Abby and Soph today, and that Andy had said, "Don't ever do that again."
yeah,
I think because he saw her grab her hammy first,
yeah,
thought she'd pulled a hammy. Um, and from all reports, people around thought he was like he had a heart attack because she's like grabbed her hammy. So, um, I, as a parent, would have said the same thing.
commentators sounded like they also thought she had done that, so
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, Soph, if you do end up watching this, please don't do that again. Don't give
that's
me a heart attack. Don't give us a heart attack. We love you too much. But no, I thought she played a phenomenal game, especially in that third quarter. Um, she pushed up the ground. She'd laid so many tackles. Every time I looked up, it was Soph making tackle.
yeah.
Just our overall inside 50 tackles was impressive. Just our ability to keep the ball in our half. Um, we ended up having 35 to 32 inside 50s. Smashed them clearances, contested, uncontested, beat them. We're in front for all 80 minutes. 19 tackles in the forward half, in the forward 50 alone. Out of 76 tackles across the ground, 19 of were in the forward 50.
It's so nice to be talking about a game and to say that the endeavour was really there, but
Oh,
also that they
so
took their chances.
that's the difference. So every time West Coast would go forward, our defense would stand tall.
Yeah,
And every time we went forward, especially in that third quarter, more so in that third quarter than any other quarter, I feel like, we capitalized on the opportunities presented to us. So I think that was the difference in the game overall. Um, but yeah, no, Sophie was definitely one of my favorites. What about you?
Sophie, of course, she had an amazing game, but the first player that comes to mind for me was Maddie Guerin. I thought she was
Yes.
terrific.
Since she's come back, has not missed a beat.
Yeah,
And I think that's a testament to her work ethic. Getting dropped when she was dropped,
yeah,
going away, not being able to actually play any other form of football, but going away, working on whatever she was told she needed to work on, came back in and has not looked back.
yeah. Led the team in tackles.
Yep. Yep. And just her physicality in the middle.
Yeah, for the
Um,
whole game.
Absolutely. And just her, yeah, her physicality in the middle. She didn't tackle a teammate this week, which was fantastic.
That was good.
Yeah, but no, I just love her the way she goes about it and the way she attacks the football and she pretty much wheeled the ball forward for
Yeah,
90% of the game. And that's what you want. Like your best defense is if the ball's in the offense. Like you there's not much else, you're putting pressure on their defense consistently. And of course the damn walls are gonna break
yeah. At some point,
at some
that
point.
was some. I'm not sure if you saw on the socials today, but they had the bench cam,
Yeah, I
and
think I shared it. I'm pretty sure I shared it.
I must have missed. I must have missed it.
No, I'm pretty
Maybe
confident I
that's where I
shared it.
saw it. But the one where Lily Goss
No, yeah, I
was saying,
shared it this morning.
yeah, the one where Lily Goss had said to Soph, make sure that you take all of your opportunities because um, it's putting them under so much pressure.
Absolutely. Yeah, the first one that I shared was, Tara going off at
Oh,
Poppy's
right, there
head.
were true. Yeah, they shared that one, and then there was another one that was a bit longer.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is the best of bench cam, and that was 2 hours ago, so I'll share that one, after the show. But, so I love when they do bench cam because they did it for the men's as well, and it's
Yeah,
a really good insight into what they're thinking. Um, Another point I wanted to make before we move on to, a brief review of our opponent for this week. After halftime, I noticed that, Coach Buck had, changed scenery. He was coaching from the bench in
coaching
the
from the
second
bench.
half,
Yeah,
and I'm like, "Hello, nice to see you down on the bench." And I think I personally like when coaches coach on the bench, especially at that level, because their message gets to the players, like, instantly, and it's direct, and it's not relayed through someone else. So if I'm in the coach's box and I relay a message to the runner, by the time the runner gets out to that person, the interpretation of the message has probably changed.
yeah,
It's kind of like Chinese whispers.
yeah.
But if I'm coaching on the bench, I'm going to look at you directly
That's
and go, "This is
immediate
what I want you
feedback.
to do." And that's why I love when Bossy coaches on the bench too, because that message is going to get there straight away. And that's what I loved. And just every time the camera panned to Bucky, he was engaged in the play and you could hear it through the audio mics what he was like trying to do. And after our discussion with him last week, which I'm still like in absolute awe of, and I spoke to Rach, shout out to Rach Buck, fan of the show, friend of the show. I said to her, we did look after him, and he actually told her that he was a bit nervous about coming on our show last week, which I
Me
thought was
too.
really sweet because we were nervous.
We were nervous. We're very big fans. No need to be nervous around
No,
us.
no, and he is welcome back anytime. But no, I just love that he went down on the bench and he was coaching. And that's something that I love. And you see it because at local footy, they're on the bench anyway. So
Yeah,
I just think that it's something that I hope he continues to adopt because I think that, especially after halftime, it's kind of when everything kind of shifted.
everything really clicked.
Yeah. So I think that might have been partly a reason why.
Yeah, yeah. I think you could hear him. I was watching the replay of the game and you could hear him at certain points coming across the audio.
Yeah, and I loved it. Absolutely loved it. And I hope he does it again this week. Moving into this week, we are coming up against the Hawks, which I believe round 2 we lost by, I think, 8 points to the
8
Hawks.
points, I think.
Yes, it was 8 points out at Kinetic Stadium in Frankston, which, that game from memory was pretty close
Yeah.
all game. Both teams missed a lot of chances. Like, they had 15 scoring shots to 12. And it was 3 goals 12 to 2 goals 10.
Yeah.
So, and we held them goalless after quarter time until the last quarter.
I've never been
And
out there, but assume it's a pretty open ground. Was it pretty windy?
from memory, it was a Saturday night? Saturday night football out at Kinetic Stadium. From memory, from what people have mentioned, that, yeah, it was pretty cold, pretty windy,
Yeah.
pretty yucky. This week's forecast is not looking great.
It can't be as bad as it's been the past few weeks.
Oh, no, I think today took the cake for me with some hail. But no, Saturday is gonna
Some
be a
hail today.
possible shower. Partly cloudy, medium chance of showers, most likely in the morning, a chance of a thunderstorm in the afternoon.
Oh,
But that's in the afternoon. So, but it's 1 mil of rain. So
I was
you
about to say it can't be any worse than our game against the Giants where there was a storm, but you have just mentioned a thunderstorm, so fingers crossed that doesn't happen again.
No, absolutely not. And their Hawks are coming off what I thought was a pretty good even contest until North kind of broke it open in that last quarter. It was
Yeah,
still anybody's game until then because they'd only kicked 2 goals, 8 to 2 points at that point. And then North,
went on a
they
rampage.
they were pretty wasteful. They kicked what, 3 goals, yeah, 3 goals, 4 in that last quarter. So they had 7
Yeah,
scoring shots to 1. Could have well and truly buried them, but, yeah, Hawks couldn't
went on a
seem to
rampage
find.
in terms of their inside 50s,
Yeah,
in that last quarter, but agree they were wasteful. I think it was North's lowest scoring game all year, I think.
yeah, I think it was. Um, when you look at it, 42, that's if that's low
Yeah,
for them, then damn.
yeah, that's
But, yeah,
the
Hawks
usual.
couldn't register a major, and there's a fair few injury clouds over a couple of their players. I watched this game, and I think at any given time, they had no rotations at one point because
Okay,
Anya McDonough had come off with, um, what
she's gonna
looked like a
miss.
knee.
Yeah, she's missing this week, I think they said.
Okay, so she is out this week. Okay. There was a couple of other players that had, like, one rolled her ankle or something. It was pretty nasty stuff. They had all 4 players, like, off at one point. I think they had, what's her name? Or Katie Ashmore in her calf. Um, she's had a lot of soft tissue injuries over the last couple of years. So that's another one to watch. Laura Elliott came off holding her ribs at one point. So,
Have they done an injury report? I'm just gonna check.
oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Um, I think this time around on our home deck, it's gonna be pretty similar to our round 2 clash, I think,
Yeah,
but with the injury list that Hawthorn currently have, um, I actually see us comfortably coming away with a win. If we play the way that we've played, especially in that first 3.5 quarters against the Giants and that third quarter against West Coast on the weekend, I think we have enough firepower up forward to hit the scoreboard and have a really solid defense to stop a forward line that's pretty depleted, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I've just checked and I can't see an injury report for any teams so far, so maybe they're coming out
Maybe
tomorrow.
it's tomorrow. Yeah, maybe it is tomorrow, but what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. I expect they probably will come out the Hawks will come out with a point to prove after not having kicked a goal
Mm.
on the weekend, but I don't see any reason why the Blues can't win.
Well, I've got their injury report.
Oh, you do? Apparently
I
I
went
just
to
don't have
I went
easy.
to their website.
Oh, right, okay. I went to the AFLW site.
Hawthorn captain Emily Bates is set to be available for selection.
Okay.
Um, should she successfully get through main training later in the week. So she's been out since round 7 with she had surgery on her SC joint in her shoulder. So Katie Ashmore's a test. Okay, so she's been playing with some Achilles issues the last couple of weeks, and that's
Yeah,
progressed into calf soreness. So they scanned her on Monday, and there's been nothing but a nothing has come back without any issues. So they'll assess her this week. Jazz Fleming has a groin injury test. She's been battling some groin soreness. Anya McDonald test with her knee. Emily Everest concussion protocols. So
okay.
she won't play.
Yeah.
And
Maybe
Lucy
that's who I
Wales
knew
is
was
also
going to.
out with an appendix. Yeah, that was the other one I couldn't quite
Yeah,
remember, Emily Everest. So she passed her injury. She passed her concussion test on game day, but post game developed symptoms. So they've
yeah.
popped her into some concussion protocols, which is, I think, very smart on their behalf.
That's
So
yeah, that's the
So
right thing
Emily
to do.
Bates is a test, Anya McDonough is a test, Jazz Fleming is a test, and Katie Ashmore is a test. Some
Okay.
pretty
So at
big
this stage,
names.
they are big names, but we don't know if on the availability for their team really.
You know, I'm still pretty confident. After watching Hawthorn the last few weeks, really, yeah, they took care of business against Essendon, but that's, Bombers have had a pretty bad year. Port
Yeah,
Adelaide beat them by 35 points. Was probably the last game prior to that. And
yeah,
Port finished 10th, and they beat them quite comfortably. So
yeah. I
I
think that's the game that messed up
yeah,
some of your ladder predictions.
it did. But no, I'm quietly confident that we'll get the job done. Um, a win will see us travel to Brisbane,
Brisbane,
um, which don't see why we couldn't win
we've done
that
it
too.
before.
We've done it before.
We've done it before.
Done it before. Um, yeah, so that roadblock will be interesting. So the other game this week is Melbourne Adelaide.
Yep.
Winner of that plays North. Interesting. It's going to be a very interesting week of football. It's also a double header at Icon Park. So for those
Mhm.
that are coming into the footy, be mindful of a little bit of extra traffic. Games at 1:05, Melbourne Adelaide. Our game's not till 7:15, so we do have a bit of a gap in between the two games. But just as a word of advice, just be mindful of traffic and
Yeah.
getting to
People
and
going out
from.
and
Correct.
getting in. It's
Correct.
another Victorian side that we're playing this week. Presumably, the weather will be, even if it's raining, slightly nicer than last week.
Yeah.
You
There'll be
know,
a
it's a
lot
week
more.
over in the finals.
Yeah, it's a Hawthorn home game. But I do know that there'll be a lot of Carlton supporters that will be out in force. I believe this Friday they're doing an open training session with the men's and
Yep.
the women's.
Yep.
So if you
9
are
o'clock.
available, yeah, 8:30 for the boys, I think it is. If you are available on Friday, get down there, give the girls some support. I know that they absolutely thrived off us being there last week. They feed off that energy. But no, definitely try and get down there Friday. It's going to be an absolute ripper. Absolute ripper.
I can't wait. It's so
Just
exciting
the
to be here
thought.
in finals and and having won a final.
Absolutely. And considering that we haven't played finals in 5 years and this show didn't exist back then,
That's
to be
right.
actually able to sit here and do a W show with a finals win, unbelievable.
And some of the players that we've criticised in the past have just really come up in leaps and bounds since then.
I always said, "Prove me wrong," and they absolutely have, and
Yeah.
I will eat my words. But
I
that's
think
what
your
you
words
want. You want to
go
challenge
somewhere.
the
You need
players.
development. Yeah,
Yeah, development. Challenge the players. If you wanna be at this level, this is my expectation of you. As Kira would say, Coach Shan.
that's right.
Shout out to that girl, I miss her. Um, Predictions, final predictions. We are actually going in favorites. So,
Okay.
yeah,
Um, predictions, Blues by 24 points.
I'm gonna say Blues by 15 in a tight tussle. Um, because I feel like, yeah, Hawks will come out firing. Eliza
Yeah,
West has been pretty dominant the last couple of weeks, even in a losing side. So I think that it'll be a battle of the midfields if we can get the ball, especially if Emily Bates comes back.
yeah,
If we can get the ball forward of centre and lock it in like we have, our firepower up forward is much stronger than theirs at this point, and our ability to score is higher. Our rate of scoring is higher,
yeah.
and I back our defence to stop anything that comes forward. So Blues by 15 for me.
Do you, any changes to the team, do you think?
Unless there's an injury that we don't know about, I don't think they'll make a change.
Oh, I don't think so either.
I think Mia has done enough to retain her spot over Keki at this point.
Yeah,
Um, she'd be very stiff to be dropped.
yeah,
I'd say we'll go in unchanged.
I agree.
Mm. But on that note, um, I hope your team wins on the weekend, and we're
Yes,
back here
that's
next
good.
week talking about a potential prelim final, which we haven't spoken about. I don't think we've made a prelim final in the W since 2019.
We
So,
haven't.
because the season was cut short at semi-final time in 2020. So, I hope your team wins, Manda. I really do.
Likewise, Shan. Go Blues.
Go Blues. Thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you guys next week. Either way, go Blues.
Bye.